All
Should
right.
we do an introduction or something?
Yeah, I need to start doing that because it's just right now it's been cold, so I'll just introduce myself first. I go by many names: Dangman, Gay Charlie, Wonder of the Arts. Just depends on what platform I'm on, but of course on YouTube I'm known as the Gay Charlie, uh, and today I have well, you can go ahead.
Formerly known as Prince Anarchy, I am Anarchy Dying.
And we're gonna just chat about just random stuff. I have a few topics for today, and I hope you enjoy the footage that I have playing. It's just me just stumbling around with a soul level 1 character. It's the first time I've ever gone through the game at soul level 1, and it's not much different from the other restrictions I've had. It's just the attack input, it requires a little bit more work. So, but it's been a very interesting playthrough so far, and um, you're gonna know some skips in the playthrough, but I'm gonna make sure I record all the boss fights. So, um, yeah, so it'll feel at least legit. I just don't want to put a bunch of errands on the live stream, even though it could add up to tons of hours.
So what's our first topic? My AC just got on. Wonderful.
I don't hear it. Yeah, something I've been noticing on and off in gaming communities. I'm on a Discord with another group who they're doing an Elden Ring podcast. I think it's an Elden Ring exclusive podcast where they just obviously talking about nothing but Elden Ring, but they just started actually. I need to listen to their entire podcast, but I joined with them because it's not often you really see, you know, podcasts focused on games like Elden Ring. So I really want to keep in touch with them. And they also, showed me that Discord is a good place to have a podcast. So I definitely have to give them credit for that.
It
Um,
is a great place to have a podcast.
and so I asked them. I was like, hey, have you guys heard about the strategy guides for Elden Ring? It comes in 2 books. You can pre-order them on Amazon. And one response that I usually get is like, "Oh, I don't need no strategy guide to play the game." I'm like, I mean, I mean, it's mostly just for artwork and just to look at the map layout. I mean, you're not gonna. The only advantage with these strategy guides is just knowing where things are on the map. I mean, it's not gonna make you extremely effective with the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not a complete cheat sheet.
Right.
It's not just going to tell you, oh, hey, here's all this broken stuff you can abuse. And
Exactly. They
it,
make very light suggestions in the strategy guide. I looked through Dark Souls Remastered strategy guide earlier because I wanted to look at uh, what they suggested for the Four Kings when it came to the what did they call it in there? They call it something very different. Homing soul mass is where I usually see it. Large homing soul mass is what it's usually called. But on the strategy guide, hold on, let me pull up a picture. That way because I took a picture on purpose so I can get the name right. um, but yeah, the strategy guides just give you very light suggestions. They don't give you anything OP. It's just something you could basically work around your own strategy. Oh yeah, Energy Bolt. That's what it's called. I thought that was a very interesting name to call it.
Energy Bolt, is
Yeah,
that how it translates from Japanese to English? Or,
I suppose so. I don't know how Future Press writes these. I don't know how much communication they have with the developers.
huh,
But interesting enough, they call it the Energy Bolt, and I've always known it as the large homing mass or something like that.
large homing soul mass?
Yeah,
Or, so, yeah.
but this is what it says in the book, because this is the first attack it mentions, I think. Yeah. So let's see. All right. This is where it starts. It may open with a long-range energy bolt. The bolt travels slowly, but has an incredibly strong homing ability that is difficult to escape. You can avoid it by dashing away until it disappears, but another king may enter the fray in the time required to do this. So they're implying that there could be some RNG to affect your strategy. That's that's what I'm getting from that statement right there.
I will say that as far as RNG goes, the Four Kings is probably the second most heavy RNG boss in Dark Souls Remastered.
Hmm.
And the first being Bed of Chaos, infamous for being all RNG, because you have no idea if you're going to get swept off the ledge by those arms or not, or something. Just
Oh, you meant the
it, it-
hitbox are inconsistent? Is that what you mean?
yeah, it's Bed of Chaos has always been hugely RNG. And I think the speedrunning community for Dark Souls is like, that's their biggest hurdle in any speedrun, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong about that. There might be a skip for Bed of Chaos, but I don't think there is. I think you have to fight that boss.
What I've seen speedrunners do, I've seen them do a couple methods. One method that I still do to this day is where you go to each side. Every time you destroy one core, you quit the game, restart, then re-enter the fog gate, then destroy the other side, quit the game, restart, and then just approach from the middle. That's the simplest.
Oh yes, that. Yeah, that is a good strategy. Still, I mean, Bed of Chaos still RNG because you don't know if the floor is going to fall out beneath you or any of that.
But those arms are very ridiculous. It feels like you're not even close enough for them to impact you. I mean, but another strategy that I've seen is the most recent one that I've seen speedrunners use, and that's using fire bombs, where you just stand in the middle where you're safe. Apparently, from what I've seen, you just have
to quotation marks.
Huh? Yeah. You stand where the floor is supposed to collapse in the middle, and you basically just throw the firebomb. You gotta get it just right. You throw the firebomb where those cores are, destroy them, and you basically just, the floor breaks underneath you, or where actually I think you should be standing on a point where it doesn't break, and you just simply run the rest of the way through, and that's it. But you really, the thing is, you got to get that window down exactly. So I don't know. I think you got to do it within a certain amount of time, or he uses like the firestorm. I don't know. I didn't look at it too much, but it was definitely a very interesting way to handle it.
Pretty sure I've seen someone use like Firestorm or Chaos Firestorm or something to do it. I don't believe I've ever tried that on Bed of Chaos. Me, I'm just old tried and true method. I'm gonna go smack it with a stick or a sword or spear or hammer or whatever.
Well, I meant the Bed of Chaos using a firestorm attack. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah. I think you can destroy. I think I've seen someone use like Chaos Firestorm on the Bed of Chaos. I could be wrong. But I think I've seen someone use it on Bed of Chaos to break both sides and then get the worm, the maggot.
Yeah.
What is it called? I guess that's the sunlight maggot, isn't it?
I always thought it was that. I thought that was just called the Bed of Chaos itself.
Well, there's like a larva inside that Bed of Chaos. Some kind of larva. I guess it's like the sunlight maggot. I'm not sure. Maybe the sunlight maggot might be different. I think.
I always thought that just the worm itself was called the Bed of Chaos, but yeah, you're probably right. It probably is the sunlight maggot. I don't have the strategy guide with me.
I wish I could pull up like the model for it.
You probably can if you. I don't. There's all kinds of stuff you can do on the computer when it comes to the model, pulling out models.
I'm scared if I. Well.
I would love to be able to use the free camera on Dark Souls. I know a lot of people have done it and explored around and seen just about everything, but I would love to just do that myself.
Yeah.
I can never see a good video tutorial on how to do that. Either that is just a bunch of coding you got to type in.
Well, everything on PC.
Yeah. I downloaded the Dolphin emulator years ago, and I was able to use the free camera on a bunch of old GameCube games like Wolverine's Revenge. So that was really cool. There wasn't really anything interesting in terms of out of view, but stuff like Sabretooth, you could see him just sitting there waiting for him to get called in. That was cool. Seeing where he goes, usually pretty much everything in Wolverine's Revenge, if something goes out of screen, it disappears immediately, and that's the case for most video games. But you just never know when you're going to come across something interesting, and I was really hoping whenever I got to the Juggernaut fight, I was going to see him rendered somewhere, but unfortunately, once you get to a certain point, the cutscene triggers, and you don't see him sitting around anywhere. But still. I still have a lot that I want to explore and see if I can find something really obscure to really put out there. I But of course, it just takes time, searching through all the maps.
Okay, so recently I was watching a video about Shadow of the Colossus, and I don't mean to pull the conversation away from
Oh, you're
Elden
fine. Go
Ring
ahead.
or Dark Souls. It's just that this video was really interesting with the Easter egg and secret hunting community.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the gist of it is people were absolutely insane hunting for secrets and Easter eggs and Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, there was like hundreds and hundreds of pages on the PlayStation forums from the original PS2 game back when people were looking for secrets for like, oh, there's got to be like I think a 16th or 18th, whatever, one more Colossus or something to find and fight. And these people were coming up with just these those boards with the pins in it and all the yarns and thread. I mean, absolutely insane. And I'm wondering, like, years later, they came out with the remaster for Shadow of Colossus, and they put in some kind of little Easter egg to kind of reward the community for all their years of continued support. But what finally gave through, eventually, someone on YouTube, and I forget their name, and I apologize for that, but they finally emulated the game on PC and were able to fly through walls and give people a definitive answer of there is nothing else.
Hmm. Even those little sprites that were all over the map.
I think those are called like the 79 Steps to Enlightenment or something,
Yeah.
or 78, but that was added in the remaster.
Right.
That was that was like the reward to the community for their years and years of dedication to Easter egg hunting.
Hmm. Okay.
There's an insane backstory on it, but I wanted to tie that into Dark Souls and, how in Demon Souls we got that. What was the armor set called?
Penetrator.
The Penetrator's armor set.
Yep.
Finally. I still have to go back and get that. Still.
I really wish the other games would add the mirror option like Demon Souls did. Because it would just, in a way, make the levels feel fresh again. You could easily get very confused about where to go because you've gone through the level so many times over the years, and then if you just simply flip it, it could definitely throw you off, and I think that would be pretty cool.
That would be a cool system to add to Dark Souls Remastered. I mean, Dark Souls Remastered is just... It's Dark Souls Remastered. If you put like 3,000 hours in the original Dark Souls, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's not that engaging anymore, for me at least.
If Dark Souls got a full haul upgrade, would you be okay with them fixing stuff that they didn't finish?
Okay, for one, I would like the 3D movement that they have in like the newer titles, like Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. That like, and being able to move out of the emotes and stuff. Mm-hmm. I would like that. That would be incredible to add.
The emotes.
It's either Demon Souls or Dark Souls Remastered where you can't move out of the emotes, out of when you do any of the animation.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think I can't remember in the PS5 version of Demon Souls if you can roll out or not. But I know you definitely can in Dark Souls currently. I think didn't they start emote canceling in Dark Souls 2?
I want to say yes, but Dark Souls 2 has always been a sore spot for me.
Okay. How long has it been since you played it?
About the missing friggin' lighting system from Dark Souls 2. I'm still mad about that. It hasn't been too long since I played Dark Souls 2. It's been a bit since I played Dark Souls Remastered, but Dark Souls 2, I tried to do a recent playthrough, and the game was just absolutely unplayable, almost.
Yeah, I played it maybe a month ago, and I just get to a certain point where, the thing about Dark Souls 2, I absolutely love the level design in Dark Souls 2, but when it comes to fighting enemies and boss fights, it just does not feel good. It doesn't feel as good as the level design. It just it
The hit
is.
registration and the phantom range at which you
Yeah.
get hit is absolutely abysmal in
Mm-hmm.
Dark Souls 2 to this day. Now, maybe there are patches on PC or something. I don't know. I don't play it on PC. I play it on console, on PlayStation,
Yeah.
because that's just the best system to play Dark Souls on.
Yeah, especially if you don't want to. If you don't want as many hackers. I mean, I realize hackers can access those consoles, but it's just not as, infested.
Prevalent.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, you can. A lot of people argue that you just have to get used to the bad hitboxes in Dark Souls 2 and it won't be a problem. But the issue with that is, if you prefer the other games and you eventually go back to Dark Souls 2, you always got to adjust yourself back to the problematic hitboxes. And it ends up being a waste of time mainly, and it's just not as satisfying in the end.
Exactly. That phantom range in Dark Souls
Yeah.
2 was absolutely crazy. And I think you have to spec into what is that weird janky stat they have that makes the game unplayable unless
Hmm.
you upgrade it.
Yeah, adaptability.
Adapt to freaking ability. I don't even know what exactly that does. I've never had it explained to me in depth. I just know that if I don't put points into that, I'm gonna have a bad time. I'm gonna have a bad time regardless, but I'm having an even worse time if I don't up adaptability.
You might as well just rename it. Just think of it as make as a smoother gameplay adjustment stat. It just makes everything run so much smoother, and it really sucks because you got to put a decent amount into it just so it can feel normal.
That's a horrible idea.
Yeah, and adaptability at 20 is probably the least you should have it. That's where I usually cap it. But if you want the game to feel really, really normal, at least close to the other games, you got to get it at maybe I think it was 50, and you can't put you basically just dumping a bunch of points into something that should have been initially implemented.
They should have just whenever they released the Scholar of the First Sin, they should have just had a patch. They should have just
Mm-hmm.
patched it out. They
Yep.
should have patched out adaptability.
Soul memory should have been removed too. Um, Now they did put in that ring that stops you from gaining souls, but I guess they did that because it's weird how putting a ring was easier than them simply stop just removing soul memory accumulation or just matchmaking. I don't know. I really just I guess they just did that because they wanted other people to have the option, but I don't think anyone liked it. So that also doesn't make any sense.
Dark Souls 2 is such a sore spot for me. I
Yeah.
can complain about it all
Yeah.
day.
I mean, I still love it because, like I said, the level design in Dark Souls 2, I find it absolutely fantastic. Like the Iron Keep, I went through the Iron Keep and I had a blast just going through and figuring out the best way to handle all the enemies and get all the way through to the end. And then I'm just disappointed by the boss.
The DLCs were. I remember the first time I went through the game and played through all the DLCs, and it was incredible because I played it at Police. I was there. I was absolutely livid when they told us that hey, we had to remove the lighting because the consoles couldn't handle it.
I, I find the lighting in Dark Souls 2. I find myself really enjoying the lighting in Dark Souls 2, especially when it comes to torches, when you're lighting darker areas. I think it's the most impressive in Dark Souls 2 compared to the other games, in my opinion. I don't know, it just looks crisp. It just looks really
It,
crisp
it
and
it can be atmospheric at
yeah.
times, but okay, in Elden Ring, they full on re-added that. The lighting system that was supposed to be in Dark Souls 2 is in Elden Ring, and it's beautiful and atmospheric and just wonderful at times. And so I kind of forgive them because we got Elden Ring.
Yeah.
But in Dark Souls 2, it's just you kind of see what should have been there going through it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just disappointing
Yeah.
seeing what could have been.
I often like to, imagine what if they just grabbed the bosses, no, the level design from Dark Souls 2 and just plopped it into Dark Souls 3. That way we can have awesome level design and awesome boss fights in the same game.
There may be a PC mod. I wonder if there's someone's done that on PC.
Well, what do you think about the level design in Dark Souls 3? Did you like it?
Dark Souls 3 level design,
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it. Yes. I
Okay.
mean, too many swamps for my taste, but I mean, it wouldn't be a Souls game without a lot of swamp.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. For some reason, I never liked the level design in Dark Souls 3. I love the bosses to death. It's definitely the best bosses we've seen, in my opinion. But the level design, there are some parts that I really like the Cathedral of the Deep. I love being able to run through there and figure out the enemy behaviors. They'll just simply dash through and get to the end. But of course, the boss fight at the end sucks. But I really like that place. Of course, the Ring City is really good. I really like a level design where you can run through it and you just got to figure out how to manipulate the enemies in your favor. Rushing through a level, if it feels like solving a puzzle, then I really love it. But if you're running through it and just enemies are just not doing anything, I find it very bland.
Okay, I kind of see that sentiment, and I personally, I think I feel a little bit differently. To me, like my favorite area in Dark Souls 1 is like the Ashen Lake, where
Mm-hmm.
you meet the dragon god, right? No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Oh,
Well,
Dragon. Heck, I don't even know his name either.
yeah, I don't either. He's basically the dragon god. I know that's the boss. That's the first boss from Demon Souls. Technically, the first boss, but
Yeah, the Dragon God was my
refer to
first
him as Dragon
disappointment in the
God.
in the series.
But that place, the first time I was there, just stumbling backwards into there, just I went in that tree, I smacked that wall behind that chest. I was like, there has to be something more, and there was. There's like three of those fog doors, and then finally you fall down all that stuff with those enemies with the little eyes on their nose that spray the curse
Oh,
mist.
basilisks.
Basilisks, yes, them down there. Then you go further, then you make it to the Ash Lake, and there's like a Hydra. I believe there's at least one Hydra and several of those oysters that drop the purging stones.
Man, I would love to see those Hydras in a modern day upgrade of Dark Souls. I bet they would look so beautiful.
Those things were absolutely terrifying the first time you
Oh
fight them,
yes.
and then you realize they can't move. You
Well,
realize they're stuck there, and at certain angles they can't even hit you. So they're so easy to kill or just outright cheese.
well, I mean, you remember the Black Hydra in Ash Lake can actually fly over you.
That's right. It's the only one that can do that, can it?
Yeah, and it looks creepy.
I guess that's a unique enemy,
Mm-hmm.
and that it can do that.
I can't believe how simple he was once you've learned how to fight him. Because all he does is just ram his head. It just rams its heads into the ground. You just strike them, and that sometimes they'll shoot projectiles at you. But that's literally the only thing they do.
Yeah, the projectiles are easy enough to dodge. I mean, just roll,
Yeah.
roll towards them or whatever. And I mean, again, from certain angles, whenever they ram their heads into the dirt, they can't hit you if you kind of know where to stand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just I don't know if we I'm pretty sure they'll eventually upgrade Dark Souls like full haul. They have to. It's got to happen. I think right now they're probably figuring out, how they should do it because there is a lot of unfinished stuff in Dark Souls, and I would love to see them finish them. I mean, if not, that's fine. I still love the game. Absolutely love the game. It's just it would be really cool just to see what they originally intended.
I don't know if we'll ever get a Dark Souls reimagined or or whatever you would call that, because we did get Dark Souls Remastered before Demon Souls. I would like to see them give it the Demon Souls treatment,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if we'll get that, because I mean, maybe they look at it as being a finished product and
Yeah.
want to move on to other things. Which, after Dark Souls 3, they said, hey, we're done with Dark Souls. And then we get Dark Souls Remastered. And then we get Demon Souls Remastered. And then we get Elden Ring. And now I've heard news of Elden Ring DLC being not too far off.
Yeah. I don't know how long they've been working on DLC, but hopefully they. I really hope that we see some absolute brutal boss fights. I wouldn't mind if all the boss fights are absolutely brutal, and and of course in a good way. I don't want it to be like, certain boss fights in Elden Ring where it just feels like they didn't put much thought into it. But I just I wouldn't mind if they released it next year.
Trying to think. I had a point, and oh yes, it was that all the most difficult boss fights throughout the games have always been in the DLCs, at
Yeah.
least in my opinion. Because I mean, Gwyn wasn't much of a final boss. Once you finally get to him in Dark Souls, he was a little bit disappointing. I think we all kind of bitch slapped him the first time around, right?
I can't remember. I think once I found out you could parry him, it was really simple. That was pretty
Yeah,
much the only time I was ever parrying back then, and I found it extremely simplistic. And then I tried not parrying him, and it was just brutal. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna stick with parrying. But I know the next time I get to him, I'm going to definitely study him and see where the iframes are.
Gwyn was always a pushover because by the time I had finally made it to him,
Hmm.
I had already learned how to parry very decent enough, and had taken my fair share of licks in PvP in the forest and just all this other stuff, all the most brutal areas of the game. Made it to Gwyn and was like, you're the final boss. This is it. You don't have any second phase or nothing, really. And then I made it to Manus eventually, and Manus was a trip just because of how insane his moveset is. Him jumping
Hmm.
around, him those huge AOE dark orb attacks and stuff. That was absolutely insane. I think the end boss of Demon Souls was really disappointing too. I haven't played their Demon Souls
Oh,
in
they
so
had a
long.
slug.
The Slug, that's right. The true final boss of Demon Souls is
uh,
King. What's his face?
False King Alant or True King Alant.
True King Alant. Is
Yeah,
it Alant or Alant?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it's important. We know who we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. The dude looks like he could be played as George Carlin.
I
It's funny.
miss George Carlin.
Dave Chappelle mentioned that in order to be a good comedian, you got to be a good actor. But I'm like, wait a minute, George Carlin was a terrible actor, so that doesn't sound right.
George Carlin was also full of cocaine.
Do you remember what movies he played in?
Oh, God, I was just talking about this with some other friends on Discord the other day. What was the last movie he was in? He was in some kind of comedy where he was only in it for like one scene. I think it was the final movie he was in before he died. Dude, Where's My Car? Maybe
I never seen that.
I can't remember. I mean, maybe someone else remembers and is a huge fan that's watching this and is going to leave it in the comments. But
The only movie I seen him in live action was Scary Movie 3. Have you seen that?
yeah, not in a bit because I just haven't been watching a whole lot of movies lately. I'm trying to
Uh,
think. Who did he play?
he played as the. Have you seen The Matrix?
Yes.
Do you remember the scene where the guy's sitting in a chair watching all the monitors?
Uh, Vaguely?
Well, he plays that character, and he just basically George Carlin basically plays as a very lonely old man that named his chair Linda, and he's just been stalking the woman, the main woman of the story. He's got footage of her taking a shower and everything. And the another movie I know he's in is a cartoon. He voices an ape in Tarzan 2. Disney's Tarzan.
George Carlin should have never been allowed anywhere near a children's film.
Well, he probably did it for his grandkids. Oh, that's what a lot of actors do. I mean, heck, Tommy Lee Jones played Two-Face because his son loved the Two-Face character in the comic books.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. And I'm sure you heard that Tommy Lee Jones absolutely hated Jim Carrey.
No, not really. I don't delve into people's personal lives too much. I don't care about actors' personal lives. I mean,
yeah, I understand that.
Because people always look at actors and like, oh well, this person has a different opinion than me, and I don't like them, and blah 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 blah. Always looking to divide themselves, and I mean, they're just actors. They're just on TV for entertainment. They're just trying to make a living. They're just trying to feed their families at the end of the day, really.
Exactly, and the reason why I mention that is because he wouldn't have accepted the role if it wasn't for his son, basically, and that just shows you how much he really wanted to, make his son proud. Or, yeah.
That is very noble.
Yeah. I'm like, man, you must have really loved your son if you didn't like Jim Carrey. But, did you want to move on to another topic?
I mean, I'm just trying to think on the fly. I should have prepared better.
Oh, you're fine.
We were going to come up with talking points, and dang man did. I did not prepare. All of my streams are always very on the fly and impromptu, and I'm sorry, I haven't had enough caffeine. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee and try and get my brain started.
Yeah, I'm surprised how energetic I am. I only had coffee this morning, but I'm surprised how energetic I am at the end of the day right now.
I need at least 2 pots of coffee before I can get up to go face the world.
Yeah, I know. At first, whenever I started the particular field that I'm in, I was using energy drinks, but it didn't feel right drinking them, so I eventually switched to coffee. And I eventually acquired the taste of. Well, actually, no. What happened was I finally figured out how I could love coffee. Cause I think what was ruining coffee for me was the fact that I was putting sugar in it. So I stopped putting sugar in it and just having it with milk, and all of a sudden I just started loving coffee.
See, I don't. I want to say an old friend got me into drinking coffee because he would have coffee, and then it was the same with me. I would drink a lot of energy drinks, and I would just feel like crap the next day.
Yeah.
And eventually I switched to coffee. It was probably around 19 or something. I don't know. But I just fell in love with it. I started going to this little local cafe, and it was wonderful. And eventually I got to the point where I became a complete snob about it. And when I say I'm a coffee snob, I'm a coffee snob. I brew mine on a percolator. It takes me 23 minutes exactly to brew a pot of coffee because that is how I time it.
Wow. You don't have a Keurig or anything?
No. I hate Keurigs.
Oh.
Vehemently. I've broken several of them.
Wow.
They just vex me. They seem unnecessary, and it doesn't taste anywhere near as good as just a freshly brewed cup of coffee on my percolator, which my percolator at this point has brewed thousands and thousands of pot. It is literally stained inside of the steel from the coffee grinds.
Yeah. Well, it's also a lot more atmospheric. It's just nice seeing that pot just slowly pour and fill with coffee, and the whole house smells like coffee for a little bit. It's definitely atmospheric.
Oh God, my house always smelled like coffee. And watching the bubbler go, I mean, it gives me something to focus on and kind of tend to for a little bit. And I'm up in the kitchen. I'm doing stuff. I'm cleaning while I'm doing that and keeping my eye on it. So it it gets me involved to some extent.
Hmm. What I've been doing lately to decrease the bitterness of coffee is I'll put water in it and then add milk to it.
Mm. I can't do milk or water or anything. It changes the flavor too much. But what I will do from time to time, every once in a blue moon, I'll just throw some cocoa mix in there and have a mocha.
Yeah, I've done that. I used to put a Reese's peanut butter cup at the bottom of my coffee.
I don't want to clean out. I don't want to clean that out of my coffee cup.
Well, I used to do that for paper cups back when I would go to the office in the morning. And they would
So you
just
get
have
that little rush of sugar along with the caffeine.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and have a little
excellent.
peanut
And
butter
and
treat.
peanut butter is that's good to give you something in your belly in the morning
Hmm.
because with me I have to eat something when I wake up. And this conversation has turned completely away from Dark Souls at
Oh
this
yeah, it's
point.
it's fine. I mean, that's
Uh,
what I like about this podcast is that yeah, I mean, mostly gaming is what we're talking about, but if we want to just kind of just veer off and talk about just life stuff, I mean, it's perfectly fine.
yeah, but coffee, I mean, I couldn't go on without it. I'd give up everything else. I haven't drank in months, basically. Just stopped altogether, not for any particular reason other than I just don't feel like it.
Hmm. Well, what's your ideal breakfast?
My ideal
Yeah,
breakfast. Hmm. Steak and eggs.
steak and eggs. Yeah, there you go. That's what I like to get at Waffle House.
I love Waffle House. God, I love Waffle House. We have a local one, and God, the woman in there is so just sweet and just wonderful, and always makes sure my coffee cup is full, and I always leave her a decent tip. I have to. I can't not. She is just too wonderful to me.
Oh wow. As I got older, I feel whenever I go to a Waffle House now, I just don't feel safe. I don't know. It's just the shady characters that are hanging around. I don't know if that's like that over there where you live, but it's just for some reason over here at the Waffle House, my Waffle Houses, the people that hang around, they just look like they're up to no good.
There. I've seen some like that, but the my local one is just like everybody knows everybody. They're all locals. They a small town.
Oh, that's good.
And it's just walk in, shug, and just excellent manners, and people holding doors for each other and just treating each other as decent human beings,
Hmm.
and it's wonderful for me.
And it's not like I live in a ghetto or anything like that. It's just there are some roads that are very questionable to be on, and a Waffle House just happens to be there.
I understand.
um, but yeah, what I like to have when I was growing up, my grandmother made me egg sandwiches, scrambled egg sandwiches with ham, and so I basically just been making that because I mean she's passed away. She would have been 100 years old this year. But I love this. I don't even make. I don't think I even make scrambled eggs exactly the way that she made them. But you just basically just puts. I like putting coconut oil in my pan and then just scrambling the eggs in that, and then waiting for them to get less gooey looking because you need to let the pan cook them after you turn it off because obviously if you get them too dry then you cut the pan off, you're going to end up burning them, so you want them almost done, then turn the pan off and let the residual
Yeah,
heat
you want
finish.
them white and fluffy. That is
Yep.
exactly how I do mine.
And then
And last night I came home, or the other night I came home, and it was so late, and I was just are they? And so I was like, you know what I haven't had since I was a child? A fried egg and bologna sandwich with a
Mm.
little bit of cheese on it. And so I tried to do that, and the eggs just, I was impatient. They ended up getting scrambled, but they were still very delicious.
I, it's really upsetting whenever I go to a breakfast restaurant and they don't have like simple things like an egg sandwich on the menu. You got to basically ask them like, "Hey, can you guys just put scrambled eggs on a piece of toast and put some mayonnaise on it?" And they just kind of look at you funny. I'm like, I'm like, what? Why is it so?
These, I don't know what breakfast places you're going to, but these are not the places you should be.
Yeah, I like going to the locally owned restaurants. They have no problem making me a nice scrambled egg sandwich with a piece of meat on it.
Always go to your local places.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
always.
I can't go to a place like IHOP and well IHOP, first of all, IHOP doesn't have real eggs. I think you got to ask them for real eggs for them to actually make real eggs.
Are you serious? That is,
Yeah.
I haven't been to IHOP in forever. We don't have one nearby, so whenever I go to an IHOP, if I go to an IHOP, it's because I'm out of town, going someplace else, visiting someone or something like that. And I mean, IHOP just can't compare to a real breakfast.
Yeah. um, I like eggs Benedict. That's really good. Um, I kind of made myself sick off of the seafood Benedict, so now I'm just kind of sticking with the ham Benedict. But the
Seafood
hollandaise sauce.
Benedict?
I'm sorry.
Well, you said seafood Benedict. I know what eggs Benedict is, but seafood Benedict?
Well, it's eggs Benedict, but they put crab meat on it.
Ah,
But
do a lot of places use like the substitute crab meat, that soy stuff that doesn't taste anything like real crab. I know what real crab tastes like. That is not real crab. It's soy.
I'm not sure. I thought was doesn't imitation crab meat usually have a more powerful flavor, or do I have that
I
mixed up?
I mean it just tastes like soy to me,
Oh,
and
okay,
I'm not a big fan of soy.
gotcha. Well, did you want to get back to the gaming? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are
Yes,
going to drop off right here.
yes. Demon Souls, Dark Souls.
Well, I was
I
thinking we
don't.
could rate each one of the cover arts. You know, like the standard ones.
Okay, no, I'm totally down to do that.
Okay. Let's see. Let me pull up Demon Souls. I know which one it is, but I just want to make sure. Let's see, cover. Because they do have multiple versions. Okay, let's just go with the first release of Demon Souls. I'll just describe it to you so you know which one I'm talking about. It's
Sure.
the one where it has the blue phantom. You know, heck, you know the signature knight set. He looks like he's about to draw his sword out with a black backdrop.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Okay, are you able to pull it up?
Trying to.
Okay. But yeah, personally, I really like this one. It doesn't look like someone simply took a picture of it in game. That's the kind of cover art I cannot stand. Is when it looks like they just enabled photo mode and just took a picture like Ghost of Tsushima. Um, but yeah, I really like this one. I like the blue aura around it. It just really blends well with the title, and just it makes it for a really cool. You know, if you're like shopping around for a video game and you see something like that, it just pulls you in immediately, in my opinion. And the armor set looks very unique. It doesn't look like something from another game. It's just overall uniqueness. I would probably give it. Let's see. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think I think the backdrop is a little bland. I think they could have added a little bit more texture to the backdrop, in my opinion, and maybe make the title kind of pulse out a little bit more. But that's just me. Are you able to find it? Are you still there? Oh, did I lose him?
Hello?
Yeah, yeah. Are you on your phone or something on Discord?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
okay.
just trying to find this real quick. Okay, yes. Now I see the cover art you're talking about. I know the one. For me, it's more of a 7. I mean, it's a fluted armor set, and it looks really cool. I think the original Dark Souls cover art. I think I had it with the alternative cover art on it, where I think it was Artorias the Abyss Walker. It was his back, and he was like walking towards the the game cover, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like all you see is, and that one was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably my favorite. I'd get one of my favorites. That one was fantastic. Love that one. I would give that a 9.5.
Oh, nice.
And well, giving Demon Souls a number, it's more like a 7 for me.
Okay. I might be getting, I might be a little too generous with it, but I just imagine myself walking in the store and I see it. I just immediately get pulled in by it, and the overall immersion of the cover art itself. I wanted
With Dark Souls 3, it seems like he's doing a thumbs up to me. He's like thumbs up, and it's just like that's not how that should be. It's always thrown me off. 6 on the Dark Souls 3.
From this point on, basically after Dark Souls, the cover art drastically decreases. Unless I don't know about you, but I don't think I ever liked the cover art past Dark Souls 1.
I like Dark Souls Remastered's cover art on the store, and especially Demon Souls. Elden Rings, I mean, it's pretty bland as far as I can tell. I mean, you got the tarnish with the thing. I mean, there's stuff going on, but it's just not like focused on this warrior like it was on the first two. It doesn't look as iconic, I should say.
That's why I got the Steelbook. The Steelbook is a lot better because it's Godfrey and has like a white backdrop, and it's just so much better.
That does sound good.
I wanted to talk about the Demon Souls for PS5 cover art because I absolutely hate it. It's one of those pictures that looks like it was taken. It looks like one of those photos that was used in photo mode. I mean, obviously you couldn't really get this angle. I don't think, unless
I'm looking at it right now as we're speaking, and I see with the gates of Boletaria, right?
Yeah,
he's got all the undead around him, and you see the blue-eyed knight in the back. And the jester, or whatever, what was that guy referred to as? The official. Yep. That's right. And it looks good. Looks looted armor and the short sword. I mean, it very much harkens back to that almost iconic image of just that warrior. I mean, Dark Souls being the most burned into my head, could I say. It kind of harkens back to that for me, and so I give that a good 8.5.
Okay, I think I'm at a 6.5 out of 10 with that one. I can't stand it. I hate.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't take that photo in the game. It's obviously set up for, just specifically for that shot, because you got the dragon in there. You can't get the dragon right there in game, and I don't know if you can get the Blue Knight right there. I think if you tried hard enough, maybe, but I don't see it because of enemy boundaries. The official definitely not.
There's no way. Yeah, the official. That was going to be the one I would say. But I mean, those are all things that are in the level, so it does kind of represent what you're going to go through. I mean, and a challenge awaits ahead.
Yeah,
that's what it says to me.
Yeah, and that's a good point actually, because you got all kinds of crazy stuff coming at you. So since you said that, I'll bump it up to a 7 out of 10 because you made a good point.
And it is one of the first levels immediately, and it is a pretty difficult level coming right out of the gate.
Yeah,
I mean,
But I guess I was really hoping for something a little bit more artsy. I guess I'm just really artsy fartsy when it comes to stuff like this.
You know what I think might have been a better one if you were in the Nexus, and it just showed, I don't know, maybe the hero knelt down betwixt all the statues, and maybe if you had like above that some of the bosses, kind of their faces or whatever darkened out, to just kind of show, hey, challenges ahead and things of that nature. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't really think about something that could be better, really, and that's the problem. Maybe that's what they were struggling with too. They're like, oh, what can we create that's just going to be, inviting, but also not inviting at the same time. But yeah, I mean, heck, I'm pretty sure it was really hard to find a good shot. And I guess Boltarian Palace, this shot was probably the only thing they could really think of that was probably the best bet to go with. I don't know. I was really hoping that they could create something a little bit more, like I said, artistic. Something that makes you think a little bit instead of just something really kind of plain and straightforward. You know what if you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. See, I keep going back to the Nexus because the Nexus is just so gorgeous in the remaster, and it's probably a place you're going to spend most of your time, at least for me, I think, and for no particular reason. It's just a hub area. It's just a hub area. There's nothing really special about the Nexus. Early on, this was the hub area because that was how they had to make the game. Because they couldn't make huge intersecting levels like that. They had to do it like that.
Maybe you could have shown the loot helmet and the sword, a close up of the sword reflection. Maybe with a little tiny splatter of blood on it, with maybe the main dragon god in the reflection of the sword. Maybe something like that.
Oh, yes. Okay, I like that idea. Maybe. I don't
know. Okay. Well, you already talked about Dark Souls. I mean, feel free to add on. Yeah, I definitely agree. Dark Souls, the cover art is definitely iconic. It's is like a more advanced version of the original Demon Souls cover art. Definitely got a lot of stuff going on. You got a lot of stuff you can kind of look for in the blue aura. You got a lot of knights and stuff it looks very haunting, and definitely sets the atmosphere for the game. Something I would definitely put on my wall. I think, heck, I think I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10 myself. But isn't that what you gave it?
Demon Souls cover art or Dark Souls?
Dark Souls.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.5, I think.
Okay.
9. We'll give it a 9.
Definitely outstanding. So I gotta remember what Dark Souls 2 looks like.
I can't either. Jesus, I'm gonna look it up in the PlayStation Store.
I think. Okay, yeah. They tried to rip off the first cover, basically. Except that it's just worse. They just somehow just totally made it worse. I think. God. I think I gotta give this one a 4 out of 10. Just because it just rips off the first one, doesn't try anything new, and
that is, I mean, if we're doing Scholar of the First Sin, which I think the original cover art was different than Scholar of the First Sin, but I'm just looking at Scholar of the First Sin right now. Yeah, I'm only gonna give them I'm gonna give that a 3 because there's literally nothing going on in the backdrop. It's just fog. I mean, you can't even see, like, is that armor set even available in the game?
Oh yeah, that is. The one with the fur around his neck?
No, I'm looking at the cover art for Scholar of the First Sin with
I think so.
That what is that cowl, I guess you would call that? Or I don't even know what armor set that is.
I'm pretty sure you can unlock that. I remember people talking about
the original was the Farum Knight, wasn't it? The original was the Farum Knight, and that was all right, I guess. I mean, it's not amazing. I mean, the Ferrum Knight armor was cool looking, but you don't get that until like so late in the game, and it was just not even that great of an armor set, if I'm going to be honest.
I mean, really, none of the alternate cover art is good for Dark Souls 2. I just maybe some of them are maybe a point more, but well, okay. You got this one. It's the Japanese box art. It's definitely a lot better. I think that one's probably a 7.5 for me. Look up Dark Souls 2 Japanese box art.
All right, one moment.
Because that one definitely has a lot more atmosphere to it, and it's not trying to rip off any of the covers. It definitely could be a lot lighter. There could be some more haunting stuff in the background instead of just, it looks like a picture of the woods.
With the Ferrum Knight knelt down, that it almost looks like Berserk. That is, yeah, definitely.
Where he's got the sword, he's leaning up against the sword.
8. Yeah, that's an 8 out of 10 for me, easy. Yeah,
I need to get that cut case. But I mean, I have the steelbook. The steelbook is okay. Let's see, because I got it through that whole collection thing. Yeah, the steelbook is him just putting his arm over the sword. I mean, it's decent, but not as good as that Japanese box art.
Yeah, that Japanese box art is where it's at.
Yeah. I guess we'll go ahead and do Dark Souls 3, even though it's not in, release order, but because, naturally Bloodborne would be next.
I mean, he just looks like he's going thumbs up. That's just my take on it. And yeah. I just can't take it as seriously. But, I mean, it's not a bad cover. I'll give it 7.
Yeah, heck. I think I'm a 6.5 with it. I mean, it's not too terribly bad, but definitely could have been a lot cooler to, just based on all this cool stuff that's in the game, and they just went with that. It's just
yeah, I mean, it's not as, it just looks like he's going thumbs to me. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, but Dark Souls 3 is an amazing game.
I don't know if this is a real cover or not, but it's the Fire Fades edition of Dark Souls 3. It's got a Slave Knight Gale along with the painter. That's a really cool cover if it's real.
But you said you want to do Bloodborne, and I don't know.
Are you able to find this one?
What was it called?
Oh, Dark Souls 3, the Fire Fades edition cover art. I think it's real. Look at that one, because like I said, it has Slave Knight Gale on the front with the art MP. I don't know her name, but that one's actually the best one in my opinion. I think that one's definitely that one's probably an 8.5 out of 10 for me. It doesn't have like your character on it or anything, but it's still a really cool display.
See, it's not showing me Slave Knight Gale. It's showing me the Cinder guy. I mean, it's like most of his upper body, and he's facing towards us. But I mean, it's an improvement. I would give it.
Well, let me see if I can.
Like an 8.
Hold on, let me see if I can find you on here real quick. Yeah, here, I'll send it through Discord. Here it is.
Oh, that does look much better. That is a lot better.
I'm like, why aren't they using these covers? They probably just, what they should do is they should just have people vote on what cover they like the most.
Honestly, they should.
All right, so Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, yeah.
I think Bloodborne probably suffers a lot. Because it's another bland cover like Dark Souls 2. I mean, I think it's better, but it's still not a.
I don't know. It seems like they went with the whole Artorias thing again. I'm gonna give. I mean, it's a definite win for me. This cover art, I like it.
Okay.
And what I especially like is Lady Maria, the old Hunters DLC. That cover art, that
Mm-hmm.
image of her sitting in the astral clock tower, just in her chair, just waiting it to fuck somebody up.
Yeah, that one's definitely
It's
cool.
oof, because that fight, that was her in Bloodborne. She was literally the equivalent of Artorias or what was his name in Dark Souls 2? The samurai in the DLC.
Oh, Alone Knight?
Yeah, Sir Night
Yeah,
Alone,
Sir Night
right?
Alone, yeah.
Alone. Yeah.
I think I give the standard Bloodborne cover a 7 and the Old Hunters maybe a 7.5.
I'm gonna give standard 8 and Old Hunters a 9. Should
Okay.
we be judging the DLCs too? Like maybe I should pull up like Dark Souls 3's DLCs and
I thought
kind
we
of take a
already
look
been
at
doing
those.
that.
Have we? I thought we were doing like alternate cover arts from like
Well, at first
Dark
we're
Souls.
looking at the standard box art, and then we're just looking at alternatives, and usually the alternatives is either Japanese or the DLC.
Well, I'm looking at the Ring City and Ashes of Ariandel, and it's just like pictures of the castle. So,
I mean,
Ashes of Ariandel does look really nice with snow, and you see the bridge, but it's not playable.
oh yeah, I see what you
So,
mean.
not high scoring that.
Yeah, I mean it just looks like someone took a photo in game. um, Ashes of Ariandel. Yeah, it's just another shot with. You could probably get the binoculars and get the same shot.
Honestly, yeah.
So Sekiro. Oh, look at that! We're over an hour. All right.
Yep.
I really like the standard Sekiro cover. I mean, well, no, hold on. The standard is okay. I think I might be looking at the steelbook. It's the one I like is him facing the camera with the sword between the E and the K. With a good view of his prosthetic arm. He's got his mouth covered up by the prosthetic arm, with the leaves falling. With the I think that's Ashina in the background. That I really like that one. I think that one's definitely an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
I haven't played Sekiro yet, just because it's been on my bucket list, and I'm just waiting for it to go on sale.
Really, as much as you like parrying, and you haven't played Sekiro
Yeah,
yet?
but there's no PvP in it. That was
Oh,
like the
okay.
big thing for me.
Uh,
So I guess maybe I would. I mean, I think it looks pretty good, the cover art. But I'm looking at the when you bring it up and his back is facing you, with
yeah.
his sword on his back, which I think that looks fantastic. And you see just this fire raging in front of him, this building burning down. He's going to unsheath that sword. So
it's a very classic style. It looks like I'm not saying this to bash it, but it looks like a cover for a PS2 game, in my opinion. Like like it looks like something like God of War, almost. But like
and
I
I
said,
like that.
yeah. I mean, I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying that's what I imagine would be on a PS2 cover.
Yeah.
Um,
Classic for me. I mean,
yeah,
I love the classics.
definitely. But yeah, the standard one where you get the side view of him with the kind of, foggy background. That one's really bad. That's probably 6 out of 10. I don't know if you see that one or
Yeah,
not.
I saw it. I would give that a 6 out of 10. But the with the backdrop, back to the camera, I give that an 8.
Okay.
A lot of 8s out of me tonight. 8s, 9s, no
Yeah.
10s. I don't know. I wonder what it would be a 10 for me. It's just maybe I'm judging them too harshly, or maybe I'm being too generous in some areas.
Yeah, a 10 would just have to totally blow me away.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, so maybe the closest to the 10 would be the original, or maybe I think it was probably the alternative cover art for Dark Souls that
Mm.
they released later with the what was it edition, the Prepare to Die edition,
Uh-huh.
where you got Artorias' back, you know, the Abyss Walker walking into the abyss. That it just sticks out in my mind so much. So maybe I'll bump that up, and that'll be my 10.
Okay.
Just to have something to compare it to. Man, these aren't like super serious lists. We're just talking about the cover
Right,
art.
yeah. Just, we're kind of, in a way, we're kind of nitpicking, really.
Yeah. Because let me tell you, we love Dark Souls, folks.
Yeah.
We do. We've been playing for years. We got thousands of hours in the game at this point.
Just when you put so much passion in these games, I mean, you're gonna find problems that you have with it. It's weird how this is another thing we could definitely talk about, is how much people want to claim that it's just the perfect thing, and I don't believe in anything being perfect. I believe some aspects can be handled very well, but there's usually something wrong with it. But Elden Ring does have problems, and I personally have never played a 10 out of 10 game, and I probably never will. Another thing is that Dark Souls is currently still number one. I don't want to put Elden Ring up there yet until I've seen more of Elden Ring. But personally, I would give Dark Souls the game maybe an 8.5 out of 10, and that's only because of stuff that doesn't feel finished in the game. But you got to consider, I mean, a game that doesn't feel very finished in some areas still getting 8.5 out of 10 just shows you just how impactful it is. And now, The Last of Us is in my top 5, but it's not over Dark Souls. But I would this might sound really weird, but I would rate The Last of Us higher than Dark Souls just because of how much more of a finished game it is compared to Dark Souls. But I can put a lot more creativity into my playstyle in Dark Souls 1 compared to The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us, at least the one, it was very linear.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just followed that style of, this is a story game. You're following the story of these characters. So, of course, it's going to be linear, and you're not going to be doing all this other stuff, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't really care for The Last of Us as much as some people did.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, it was a fun game. It was a good game. It just wasn't my thing. Because I played plenty of linear games. God of War, almost in the same style. Being that you're following these characters' story, but there's so much extra stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's not fair to compare The Last of Us to something like God of War, because they came out at completely different times, and but I will take another game from that kind of, I'm going to call the clickers zombies, because they're basically zombies.
Yeah, yeah. There's no denying that.
So, Days Gone. Days Gone was fantastic. I loved Days Gone.
Yeah, I need to finish it.
Yeah, well, I platted it out and tweeted that I platted it out, and then Xander Reese, the guy who did some of the music for the game, followed me.
Oh, nice.
And then after a while, one of the lead developers also followed me from The Last of Us. From Days Gone. And so that was just really cool how welcoming they were. They just found my random tweet and were like, dude, we love that you love the game. You're a cool dude. And that just made my day. Trying to think of the guy's name, like Josh or Josh. So sorry. It was incredible, and the story was great, and there was like Dark Souls cover art for the bike. You could like change the decals and stuff. You're upgrading it like your bike the whole game, and it was really fun for me. And it sucked me in so much, and it wasn't for everybody because the game did have problems on release. But I would rate that as strong. It was like a 9.5. Well,
Wow.
no, it was a 9 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
Doom Eternal, I got to give a 10 out of 10.
Dang, I still need to play it. I need to finish the first one.
Doom 2016.
Yeah.
Well, those are two completely different games.
Really? Is that drastically
Well,
different?
pretty much. I mean, the gameplay, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's completely different. In Doom 2016, you're not locked in there with the demons are locked in there with you. And in Doom Eternal, it's more so, I mean, halfway through Doom 2016, you are an unstoppable killing machine. If you don't just put down your controller or walk away from your keyboard, they can't even kill you. I mean, like uranium coated buckshot and stuff, and you just got all these crazy. It's insane on how much ammo you can carry. In Doom Eternal, in every single room, you're trying to constantly juggle how much ammo you have because you have to chainsaw enemies for ammo and all this other stuff, armor. You're having to burn enemies for armor, and you're having to freeze them to stop them in their tracks to get them to hold still for 5 seconds so you can launch 3 homing rockets in their face and all this.
Wow.
You're constantly juggling all these things in these really well-made arenas. And it was just so incredible for me. It harkened back to those old classic FPS so much. And it was just every step of the way. It was sheer adrenaline and pleasure.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely have to give it a chance if I can find it somewhere and it speaks to me, I'll definitely pick it up because it definitely sounds very. I mean, so in your opinion,
it's like you're doing a dance in Doom Eternal, and if once you like get into that rhythm, you're in it, and it's like you're blown away, you're drawn in. Just chef's kiss.
So it's just, you wouldn't even call it a huge improvement from the first game. You would just call it like a totally different experience.
I would. It's like an evolution from the first game.
Okay.
An evolution, and they nailed it. It's like evolution perfected. This is, they took everything that Doom used to be and took all these elements at it and all these things that belong in it and perfected it. I can't think of any other way to describe it and how much I love Doom Eternal.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that definitely pumps me more to buy it.
Here, I'll show you what my character ended up looking like before I put the game down, and I had like top 500 in the world on the leaderboards for horde mode. I was over top 100. Sorry, I was climbing the leaderboards for that game and staying up near the top. Well, it was how much time I'd put into it and how good I'd gotten at the game. But that was my Slayer with the black armor with the gold pieces and these gold flames coming off of him.
Oh, nice. So there's a lot of customization?
Oh, yeah. You can even change like all the customization, all the skins for your weapons. I think they're still doing seasons too.
Okay, and that, I mean, is that in single player or just online?
Multiplayer. Well, horde mode is in like extra mode thrown in, and it's single player. And it's like these arenas. It's basically how good you are at the game. You're testing yourself, and this is for nightmare mode. Is what I was scoring on, and I guess it was because not a whole lot of people play the game on nightmare, but which is one of the hardest difficulties, other than like ultra nightmare, which there is no ultra nightmare setting for horde mode. I was playing at the highest skill level for horde mode.
Now, is that like, is it a like a enemy health sponge kind of adjustment, or is it just aggressiveness adjustment?
It's I can't explain the difficulties too well. I think I'm not sure if, I mean, enemies definitely get more aggressive on higher difficulties, but higher level demons will spawn at earlier stages and all this other stuff. So I was fighting off like 4 archviles just constantly respawning every enemy, and just whatever they call the cyber demons. I forget what the cyber demons are called in Doom Eternal. They're called something else, but they're cyber demons.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and end it here. I can hear my baby crying. Right. It is feeding time. We went over an hour, which is great. I'll be able to put a bunch of awesome footage. At least I think it's awesome. I don't know. People probably think I play in a very boring way, but that's just the way I like to play. So it's just something to play and have in the background if someone wants to watch something.
All right. Well, we'll do the outro. You're
just Gay Charlie on YouTube and multiple names, but I'll just stay to what's necessary for the format. I mean YouTube, and I want to thank Anarchy Dying coming back. I think he'll probably be a regular. We'll try to get the other guys back on sometime, and maybe we can have multiple people talking to at the same time, which will probably be pretty interesting. I'll try not to have too many people on, because it'll just sound like a bunch of just a crowd or something. But hopefully we'll be able to do some more throughout the week, and get people talking about video games. I love talking about video games, and that's why I started. I do too. That's why I started this podcast.
And I will try to prepare better next time. But I've been guest Anarchy Dying. And if anybody's interested, I do have a Twitch. I go live from time to time. I am terrible at keeping a schedule, though.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us ramble on for over an hour, and we'll see you guys later.
Mostly talking about eggs and coffee.
Yeah, exactly. For it
was great.
I think for 20 minutes, I think we were off video games, but it's a whatever. All right.
All right. Thanks.